At the college and club level, Ultimate is a very offense-favored sport. When players have good edge control and can place the disc where they want it, they can seemingly score at will. Defenses have to be more sophisticated and coordinated to create advantages whenever possible. So today, we're going to look at a couple man defense concepts. As with all of these videos, blue is going to be offense, red is going to be defense, and white is the disc. The offense is trying to score at the top of the screen. The left side is the home side, and the right side is away. So today we're looking at man defense. In all of these setups, each offensive player will have a single defensive player assigned to them. However, not all man defenses are the same. The core differences from one concept to the next is how the mark is set up. The mark is the person who is defending the player who is currently holding the disc. They are responsible for verbalizing the stall count as well as setting the force. Since the disc moves from player to player regularly, the mark also changes regularly. Therefore, every single person on a team is responsible for being a strong and effective mark. I think the first thing that's important to understand as a mark is the limitations of the role. We of course want to do our job to the absolute best of our abilities, but there are things that we cannot do. We would love to, since we are right here in front of the person with the disc, block anything that they're going to throw. But the reality is, if they start to fake going out this way and we run over this side, and then they fake going over this way and we run all the way over to this side, they're going to be able to switch which side of their body they're going to release from far faster than we can move our entire bodies from side to side to get a block. So realistically, we're not going to be able to block everything. Instead, we only want to corral the disc to a certain area of the field. This is what's called the force. So let's just say that I want them to throw the disc to the away side of the field. I am going to position myself on the home side of the field. Any throw that would go towards the home side, I'm going to try and block. But anything that would go towards the away side, I'm just going to let go for free. By being more refined and focused on what I can do and what I can stop, I'm going to be more effective in my role. Now, even though I'm making no effort whatsoever to stop a throw from coming off of the away side, it means I'm actually setting my teammates up for more success. Every thrower needs a receiver, so let's put another pair of bodies down the field. Since my guy knows that the disc is going to go towards the away sideline, he can position himself and cheat out a couple steps in that direction. Let's take a look at this simple 2 versus 2 setup as a micro example of team defense. Visualize a line coming down the field, going straight through the handler holding the disc. Everything here on this home side in this current setup would be defined as the break side, meaning that the responsibility to stop this throw is primarily done by the mark. This other side over here we call the open side. The mark is not trying to defend this. Instead, that responsibility is going to fall on the downfield defender. Since the downfield defender is aware of this responsibility, they are going to cheat themselves a little bit more towards that open side in order to gain a leverage advantage over their man. You can't go too far though. If they were to come all the way out here and really stop everything on the away side, this guy's completely undefended. It is impossible for a mark to stop absolutely every single throw that the handler could do. Even if it comes out really ugly and weird looking, as long as the disc is in the air, it can always be caught. Ideally, if some ugly, weird, bad throw is made, the defender is close enough in order to make a play. But if you're too far off, we call this poaching, and then that terrible throw is a completion, and now the defense is broken. Okay, so we're going to still play tight, but we are going to set up with a bit of an advantage more towards that open side there's still a massive space for this downfield 1v1 matchup to play out. This matchup is going to play out over the course of 2 or 3 seconds. That's way too quick to be analytical. So instead, there's a couple core principles that the downfield defender is going to want to follow in order to give themselves the best opportunity to make a play. You cannot stop everything, so you must prioritize certain threats and concede others. So principle number 1, longer throws are less reliable. If you have a choice between defending the short space and defending the long space, it is actually better to defend the short space. Okay, maybe this offensive player comes in and then they come down here. Okay, we gain this advantage. Why? Well, the disc takes a lot longer to go deep. Okay, more time in the air means we have time for the defense to adjust. So let's just say that this pair is coming in. We step under, they step out. They might have a 1 second advantage on us. Okay, but if the disc floats in the air for 1 single second, well, now we get to close that gap. Now it's a 50-50 ball and we have an opportunity to make a play. Secondly, we are looking at this in just like a one-on-one setup, but recognize that there's going to be several other people, and maybe some other people that aren't involved in the play are here. Well, when this goes up in the air, this guy can also come over, and now all of a sudden it's a 2-on-1. Another factor to consider is the wind. With the disc being in the air for so much more time, any amount of wind over a longer duration of time can knock the disc off its course, and then no one catches it. But when no one catches it, that's also advantage to the defense. New players will over-prioritize defending the long ball since it's just embarrassing to get beat over the top. But veteran players know that it's less reliable, and so it's best to play underneath your man, force them to go deep, and then make it an athletic one-on-one battle. Our second principle is we don't want to over-defend the open side. No matter what your defensive structure is, it is crucial to maintain consistent pressure throw after throw after throw. We're not necessarily expecting to get a block on the very first throw of a point. Instead, by maintaining consistent pressure and a consistent force, we're going to incrementally squeeze and restrict where the opponents can go, until finally they got no space to work with and they freak out and make a mistake. Let's say we're forcing to the sideline, as we are here, and the man we're defending is getting real close. Maybe they're slashing across the field like this. Now they're getting really close to the sideline. Well, we're maintaining with them. We're in front of them the whole time. Okay, well now, if we know that their momentum is carrying them towards the sideline, do we want to chase them all the way out to the sideline? Well, in this situation, no. We want to let them go. See, we're trying to force them towards the away sideline. So if they were to be completely undefended here and they catch this pass, if we can just set up that mark, yeah, we've lost a little bit of downfield yards. However, now the offense has so much less lateral space to work with. Where previously they had half the field of open space, now they've only got about 10%. That tiny, narrow little window will make the next pass much more likely to go off successfully. So when they get this close to the sideline, yeah, give it up. Let them have that. What's the alternative? Well, if we overplay here and we try and really get ahead of it, they double back. And then this pass happens. Now look at the situation. We've barely gained any advantage laterally, and now the defense is on the wrong side of their man's body. So as they come up to set the mark, in this moment as they approach, they're on the wrong side. And there is a couple seconds of free and open break side space. And if this pass happens to any other offensive player, the entire defense collapses. Remember, we're not trying to go for hero ball on every single play. Instead, we are trying to, over the course of several passes, over the course of several throws, incrementally restrict our opponents give them less and less space to work with, and incentivize a mistake. Third, we want to anticipate our opponent's moves. We don't just want to chase them. As regarding this person, they might just be running around, doing a whole loop-de-loop, okay, going all kinds of different places. Unfortunately, we are forced to just follow them no matter what they're doing. Okay, if they go under, we go under. If they go out, we go out. At all times, we need to stick with our man. And so that inherently means that we're going to be chasing them from place to place to place. Now, as we're doing this, there's two different mental modalities. We could either just be sticking with them. Okay, we call that chasing. Wherever you go, I go. You might get ahead of me, but, not by that much. I'm always going to be, 5, 8 feet behind you, but you're never going to completely blow me out. Well, the problem with this is that 5 feet is all it takes is to get a playoff. So if they are coming up ahead of you here, and then they turn around, and now you're 5 feet behind them, there's absolutely no way to get that block. And if you're never threatening any blocks ever, then you're largely ineffective at suppressing your opponents. You might as well just not be on the field. The other mental modality is called anticipating. So you're going to be trying to jump the route whenever you get the opportunity. So in that same exact way previously, if we're chasing the opponents out, that's totally fine, right? If the deep shot were to go up, we could increase our speed a little bit and try and make a play. However, if they start to turn around and double back, then we want to double back even harder than they do. Okay, keep them forced out. We don't want to be casual and just maintain speed. Okay, we need to find these opportunities to try and jump ahead of their route. Generally, it's every time that they turn a corner, we want to have a quick burst of speed in order to get ahead. Right? If our opponents are doing this, we want to do this. By staying sharp and attacking those angles and anticipating our opponent's moves, we're always going to be close enough to get a block, or we're going to be so scary that the throw's just never going to happen. Both of those are great effective defense. This is what we're aiming for in all of our upcoming examples. A mark will corral the offense to a restricted area, then the downfield defenders will position themselves to have an advantage in that area. Either the offense will try and force a throw into the defended space, or they will attempt a farther, riskier pass. Either way, the defense can make a play and create a turnover.